Podcast Episode 2, The Purpose. We gotta humble in the eyes of our Creator. We gotta bend down low. We gotta know what He knows. We got to raise each other's up higher and higher. We got to raise each other's up. So, the purpose of this video, the purpose of this podcast is really to find our purpose. We come from a place often mystical, but the old ones say we come from the sky, and we came upon this earth, and we have a purpose. Every human being on earth knows something that the others doesn't, and we are all a little piece of each other. We are all related. Whatever we do to each other has a ripple effect that affects everybody else, whether it's humans, animals, plants, the living earth. Everything is related. We're all in this together. Our ancestors gave us guidelines, and the guidelines were an old saying that said, from tens of thousands of years old, that the longest road is from your head to your heart. And that is a constant growth through our life. So your purpose in life is to go from your head to your heart, because we often learn skills, and in school we learn either skills in life, or we learn how to write, how to count, how to create stuff, how to work with wood, how to cook, how to clean. But this is survival. This is being alive. But your real purpose is to go from your head to your heart. And how do you achieve that? Because at the first you learn a lot about your head in school. So the real purpose is to make it to the heart, to be in unconditional love, no judgment. And to achieve that, you need to work with the 7 grandfather teachings. It is a lifetime commitment. One first teaching is respect. And we respect the animals, the plants, the trees. The trees make up the wood for a fire. It makes also the structure for a housing. We need to have a mutual respect for the trees who gave their lives. The bison was a symbol of respect because he gave his whole being so that the native people could survive. He took pity upon them and gave himself to the people so they could have clothing, they could have tools, they could have meat, they could use the hides for blankets and shelter, and the tools or the bones were made for needles and axes and arrow points and everything. The bison sacrificed his life, and so the people respected him immensely, because they knew very well that without him they wouldn't be here. So that teaches us about all our relations and how everything we do is a ripple effect. So we have to be thankful for the trees who gave their life for firewood, for our structure of our house. So the first thing you should do when you move into a house is say thank you to that structure, because without it you'd be outside, you wouldn't have shelter. And so the other teaching is about balancing respect, because you need to self-respect yourself and put certain boundaries for yourself, but you also need to balance it out and be able to respect other people's way of life or what they're doing, and so who they are. The other teaching is humility, very important. Humility is knowing that we are no better than anybody else. There's no ladders, there's no stairs. It's a plain circle. We're all sitting around the same circle. We're all equal. It's knowing that without Mother Earth, we're nothing. Without this planet, we won't exist. So this living being that is called Mother Earth is the best ever. Humility is about walking your talk, or I think that's honesty, but anyway, honesty is the other one, is the Sasquatch. I'm a little goof a bit. I thought that honesty was like the colonizers, and it meant that you didn't lie. But that's not what honesty teaching means in Ojibwe. It means that you walk your talk. If you're gonna say that you're working for the environment and you're gonna protect her, well, you can't go and throw out your trash, and just litter your trash all over the lawn. If you're gonna protect and dance for Mother Earth and pray for her, well, you better take good care of her and not litter your trash or your garbages. That's a kind of idea, to know that it's important to walk in a good way, walk in balance with the teachings, because the earth is really borrowed from our children. We don't want to leave litter of trash all over for our children. We're really borrowing it from the 7 generations before us. It's very important. 7 generations before and 7 generations after, because we're just an illusion in this time set. Time is illusion, because what really matters is the present. The past is gone, the future's not here yet, but what really matters is the present. And so the other teaching is bravery. Bravery comes from the bear, or courage, as they say. For some people, being courageous is when you have severe arthritis and you're still getting out of bed in the morning, making your coffee and doing your work. This, for someone who suffers from arthritis, is an amazing act of courage. For someone who has cancer, it's, accepting the medicine. Either you choose traditional medicine or you choose the chemotherapy. But to go and face chemotherapy and face the disease of cancer and its possible cures is an act of bravery in itself. For someone who stood up to bullies, it's an act of bravery. For someone who goes and give out his resume for a job, this is an act of bravery. It's not always about saving someone from death. That is also an act of bravery, but sometimes the most courageous thing you can do is open your eyes and start again. For some people, the biggest leap of courage will be to become sober or clean. It takes a big mindset and a lot of strength to pull yourself from that situation. Addiction is the worst thing ever. And I hope that all the people who suffer from it, that you feel loved and you find the strength to pull yourself out of it. And I'm so sorry that you've been through this. It's really hard. For some people, bravery is losing a child and still going on through life and trying to make that purpose, but there's always a piece of you missing. This is a very courageous act. To be able to love again, to be able to live again without feeling guilty, without feeling remorse, to accept that these people came to Earth and gave us the best they could of themselves, and that Creator called them back because they had something else in mind for them. It's some of the hardest acts of courage I know of. And the other teaching is truth. What is your truth? Often we think, is the earth flat? Is the earth round? Is it really necessary? Your truth is really what you know. You cannot speak of something that you don't know about. I've never been around the earth to orbit. I've never really checked. But what I do know is that the earth is the most amazing place ever seen. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's giving me enough to eat, to drink, to live, and that is my truth. I don't need to know whether it's flat or round, and I don't need to argue about it. My truth is I love the earth, and she's giving me the possibility to live a good life, and I honor her very much. I am amazed by the stunning wonders of this world. That is my truth, because I can speak about it because I lived it. But I didn't go in space to check out if it was round. I didn't go over the sea to see if we'll fall off the edge. This is just, you need to know what you talk about. So your truth is, if you, for example, fought against an oil company and you did activism for nature, well, you can speak about it because you did it. I've never went to a protest in person. Well, I did it once, but it wasn't big. There was like 40 people. But I realized quickly that it wasn't my purpose, but for some people it is their calling. So it's walking your truth. You talk about what you know. If you don't know about it, can't talk about it. It's not supposed to be. So walking your truth is, knowing who you are and talking about things that you know and not things you don't know. But in this world of communication, everybody's got a different opinion. And sometimes you learn something and you realize that it's not true, that there's a whole other version out there, and it's going to become harder and harder to be truthful because of AI. AI will confuse us in what's real and what's not. And so being truthful to who you are is going to be harder and harder with time, and that's because of technology and AI abilities. But it's important, whenever you feel confused, go back to nature. You don't need, even if you're in the city, go to a little patch of grass, look up in the sky. Go to a park, look in the sky, ground yourself between Mother Earth and Father Sky. Take time to meditate and take time to go inside and find out what really matters. We're going to need to ground ourselves and be in touch with the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and earth, water, air. What's the other one? Oh my God, I'm tired. I'm so sorry. So basically, you know what I mean, right? Fire. Fire is the 4th element. So we need to be in touch more and more with these 4 elements to keep ourselves close to the truth. And so the idea is that your purpose is, the other teachings is wisdom. Wisdom is acquired through experience. You'll see a 7-year-old who survived cancer and lost a parent, and somehow has the most amazing wisdom because they've been through so much at 7. And then there's going to be someone at 50 who still acts like a teenager. And it's okay because everybody has a different spurt growth. We all came here for a different purpose. And in the end, we're not coming out of this life alive. Everybody goes back to Father Sky at some point, and the body goes back to Mother Earth. But what's most important is making the best of what you can do every day. And it's being able to show kindness, love. Zugundigide, they say, is teaching of love. And it's not loving just one person. It's loving unconditionally and without judgment. Everything, all your relations, the rocks, the trees, the animals, the plants, the people, the stuff. If you have things in your life, don't break it. Take good care of it. Everything has energy. And that's why often we'll be having this call to have wooden furniture, because wood retain the spirit of the tree, where plastic, it only absorbs the energy you give it. It vibrates really low. Same thing with concrete. It cuts the vibration between your feet and the ground. But when you bring grass or sand or a rock, these have spirits. They have essence of life. They have wisdom. They have love. And they must be treated with respect. So in the future, know that love is loving unconditionally and without judgment all my relations. Now, we are human and we do get upset, but it's never too late to say that's wrong. Start again. Breathe in, breathe out. Take a fresh start. Because every day you're able to take a fresh start. And every time you breathe, you can make a fresh start, change your mind, go back to your heart and say, hey, that person was mean to me, but they're really, really inside, they're hurt. They need tender loving care. And sometimes we can't apologize exactly to the person because they're too tempered or they're too hurt to hear us. But what we can do is use the Ho'oponopono method, which is a Hawaiian healing method. And what you do is you use the 4 words that heal. It's I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. So what you do is you visualize. You can take a picture of the person. You don't need their consent. And you can take a picture or visualize the person the last time you've seen them. And repeat when you visualize them, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And that will help ease the tensions between that person and you. You can only say their names and say, and often people will struggle with self-acceptance. We don't like our bodies, we don't like this, da 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 da. It's okay. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And you repeat it till you feel your body transform. You might cry, you might laugh, you might be angry, you might smile, but until you feel peacefulness, you say it. And it costs nothing, and it's amazing what it can do. I use the Ho'oponopono 4 healing words to heal myself. So often I will do Reiki on myself. It's a form of light that enters the crown or the head and comes out at the end where the feet are. A little bit like a hollow bone. In the native teachings, we have the hollow bone, which is usually the people who channel between earth and sky. They often channel from the sky world, or from Mother Earth, or from spirits and ancestors around us. Sometimes from fantastical, mystical creatures as well, that only a certain percent of the population will see, because they're from another dimension, and the human eye is only programmed to see a certain space in the matrix, not everything. We don't see everything. We're only programmed to see certain things, but our brain can access 9 dimensions easily. There's more, there's less, but basically there's a lot going on that we don't know. But that's another story. So basically, to go from your head to your heart, we need to find our own peace. We need to heal ourselves and forget about what we learn and go back to the 7 grandfather teachings to balance it out in a grow life walk with truth, wisdom, love, bravery, honesty, truth, and humility. I don't know if I said 7, or I'm losing my mind. I'm sorry, but basically you got it. And when you can balance out these 7 teachings, is that you have a good life, you find peace, you find unity, compassion, and kindness. Mahatma Gandhi did say, be the change you wish to see in the world. So if you don't like how you see the world, be the change you wish to see. See, about 5 or 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I attempted suicide because I didn't like the world. It was ugly as hell, full of chaos, violence, and I felt all alone. Now, I turned my life around, and I've been trying to do 3 good deeds a day. Help a friend, make them laugh, hold a door up, help a friend carry their bags, whatever that could cross my path. And at some point, the good deeds started coming back to me, and now it's overflowing, but I still continue to do these good deeds and help people whenever I can. But now I have to learn to balance it out and recharge my own batteries so that I can be of better service the next day to help my people. What I want to see is more compassion, more empathy. I want to tell the people how I see them, their beautiful light, their potential. They're glowing with potential and love. And people just really want to be heard. They just want to be loved for who they are and not being judged. And there's a group of people on this earth that have to be light beings and help the others see how wonderful and awesome they are. Because I don't want people to suffer like I did. And I don't want to suffer anymore like I used to. And we lose ourselves in the service of others. We find purpose in helping each other. Like they say in the song at the beginning, we rise each other's up. We help each other up rise. It's the most beautiful quote ever. And we gotta humble, because we have to accept that we don't know everything. We might have an opinion, but we have to be receptive to the others as well. And that, to find balance, is in opinions, and know that they're not mean to you, but they're mean because they hurt, and they're so hurt that they can't see you anymore. They just react. And there's so much people needing tender loving care right now. So whenever you feel like life is throwing you a storm, make sure to do self-care. Put down your tobacco. Ask Creator to take it in His hands. Do your breath work. Do your bathing. Do your traditional medicine, whether it's smudging with sweetgrass, smudging with sage, and embrace the storm. Just lay low, and eventually the rainbow will come out, and it will help. If you don't see it come out, ask help. Don't never be afraid to ask for help, okay? People need to be heard and loved more than ever. And so to achieve that, inner heart, like that heart place, where that sacred space where we vibrate, is very important. So that's basically, our relations with each other. It doesn't matter how much we have. If we have a house, a car, if we don't have a car, if we are homeless, we're all in this together. Whether we have a job or not, the system wants us to look like a failure. You know what happens? The system is a square because it wants us to be ordered, timed, and it wants it to fit in that square shape. But so many of us are not square. Some are round, some are triangle, and so many are stars. They were never meant to fit in a square because they were stars. They were meant for shining out bright. And the system is suffocating them, because that's not how it should be. Life is so much more than a square. It's a circle, it's a triangle, it's a star. It's whatever you want it to be. And so it's about finding your true essence, your truth, who you really are, your love, to be able to see through the eyes of a 7-year-old or a baby. Everything's so much brighter and prettier and innocent. To know that there's no judgment, that we all have a place here on earth. So really, it's about helping each other walking home. Because we're just walking each other home, really. Might as well be kind as we go through it. It's not because other people hurt us or were cruel and violent to us that we have to be the same way. Stop the cycle. Become that love. Become that peace. Become that unity. Walk your truth. Be that shining star that you were meant to be. Do what you love, what you're passionate about. Forget what people think. They're always going to have an opinion anyway. Just do your own thing. Love, life, laugh. Medicine is great. It's laughter, it's health, it's eating, it's drinking water. Water's sacred. Remember, be close to your 4 elements. Earth, fire, water, air. Air is about drumming, singing. Get your gifts out there. Create. Find out your gifts and follow them. They are your purpose. They are your love. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. I thank you so much. Niawankoa. Gichi Miigwech. Pilamaye. So anyway, I want to say that I love you very much, and that I appreciate that you listen to this podcast. And I'm very thankful for learning these teachings that were passed down from generations to generations for tens of thousands of years old. I am very grateful. Thank you so much. I love you all very, very much. Thank you so much. Blessed be. Thank you. Music and song from Odemin singers. I really like that song because it speaks to me. We gotta humble in the eyes of our Creator. We gotta know what He knows. We gotta bend down low. We got to humble. We got to raise each other up higher and higher. We got to raise each other's up. We gotta humble in the eyes of our Creator. We gotta know what He knows. We gotta bend down low. We got to raise each other's up higher and higher. We got to raise each other's up.